This week, around the British Columbia Football Conference.
It was a year filled with turmoil for the Okanagan Sun in 2011. In the offseason, head coach Pete McCall was fired, and then Jason Casey was promoted from his defensive coordinator position to take over the role. All-Canadian kicker Stephen Schott was required to rehab an injury all season long, only to have him return in Week 10. In Week 3, quarterback Bobby Davis suffered a broken thumb and did not see action as the quarterback for the rest of the year. Then following a Week 5 loss in Nanaimo, in which the team ran just 6 times, offensive coordinator Tony Lindsay was let go, and longtime head coach Jay Christensen returned to fill the void. Then, to wrap up the season, the Sun were upset at home in the semifinal at the hands of the Langley Rams. The Sun had high hopes coming into 2011 with a number of core returning players, including Stephen Doege, Dan Turek, Bobby Davis, and Derek Herlock. They would finish 8-2, but it was a disappointing 8-2 as they couldn't beat their arch rival, the Vancouver Island Raiders, who embarrassed them at home in the final game of the regular season. With the promotion of Coach Casey, the former Concordia standout would wear 2 hats this season as the head coach, and he would remain the defensive coordinator and would try to instill his hard-nosed defense attitude onto the entire roster. For Casey, it was his first job as a head coach. With all the ups and downs of the season, one of the most difficult things Casey had to do was give walking papers to his friend and offensive coordinator Tony Lindsay following Week 5. The position, however, was filled quickly by former head coach Jay Christensen, who brought back many of his offensive options from when he coached last in 2008. As in years past, 2011 wasn't much different, as it was the defense that propelled the team for the majority of the year. Led once again by CJFL defensive MVP Stephen Doege, the Kelowna native wrapped up 11 more sacks, setting a new BCFC record in the process. He's now just 5 back of the all-time CJFL leader, which is 36.5 sacks. In 2011, Doege led the Sun in tackles with 28 and had 14 assists to complement 3 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries. For the first time in his career, he would also carry the ball 4 times and score 3 touchdowns. Doege was also named the team MVP at the Sun Awards banquet. Rookie Brennan Van Nistelrooy, a conference all-star, would lead the club with 5 interceptions, and 3 other players had at least 2. Linebacker Brandon Donkers had a terrific season. The former fullback had 26 tackles, 11 assists, 2.5 sacks, and 2 picks in his first full season on the defensive side of things. Offensively, the Sun found themselves shorthanded when the season began, as their leading scorer from the year before, Stephen Schott, was rehabbing a very sore back. Quarterback Bobby Davis suffered an injury in Week 3 and would not return to the offense. He would complete 33 of 65 passes and did manage 4 touchdown completions. Enter Jeremy Joseph Marovic. JJ, who played at St. FX of the CIS the year before, seemed to fit in immediately. He would complete 109 of 194 passes for 2,057 yards and throw 18 touchdown passes in his rookie season, and he would set 2 new BCFC playoff records. During the semifinal loss to Langley, JJ threw for 404 yards, a new record, as well as completed 29 passes, which broke the old mark of 25. On the ground, Armand Bakic was the featured back. Despite missing the first 3 games due to injury, he would rack up 568 yards on 83 carries and score 6 majors. The season also saw the emergence of a couple of promising young runners in Alex Bradley and Mikhail Maloff. Receiver Tommy Howes had a breakout year, catching a team-high 38 balls for 537 yards and 7 touchdowns. In his final season, Mike Friend had 28 catches for 362 yards and 4 TDs, while Dan Turek had 31 catches for 768 yards and 5 touchdowns. 5 members of the Sun were named to the conference all-star team: Doege, Turek, Van Nistelrooy, along with defensive lineman Drew DeGue and defensive lineman Sam Loyson. With the 2012 Canadian Bowl hosted in BC, the Sun have begun their efforts to improve and seem much more motivated already as they prepare for their 32nd season. With this look at the 2011 Okanagan Sun, I'm Ryan Waters.